Hello, dear students. Good evening. Today we are going to learn about Newton's second law. Some examples. Under the laws of motions, Newton's second law, we did this Newton's second law. This the net force is equal to the product of the mass and velocity to the time taken, means the ratio of the change in momentum, the rate of change of momentum, means the ratio of the change in momentum to the change in time. That means the rate of change of momentum is called net force. So therefore net force is equal to mass into variable velocity by change in time, or variable mass into constant velocity by variable time. So by using this formula we can find the net force, or we can find the time required, or we can find the mass or velocity on this. Now here is one example is given. Let us see. So this a mat of mass 1 kg of length 1 meter placed on floor. One end of the mat is pulled with a constant speed of 1 meter per second towards the other end, till the other end comes to motion. How much force is required to do this? Here this is the mat. This mat mass is equal to 1 kg. The length is equal to 1 meter. Length is 1 meter. And the velocity is 1 meter per second. Velocity is 1 meter per second. This is the given data. We have to find out the how much force is, means the force is applied, how much force is active on it. This is the, so when we take this mat, we roll down like this. When you roll this mat, like this, just you see this mat, just you fold like this. Where a fold like this, the mat is moving how much distance? So in this figure you find velocity is equal to 1 meter per second, length of the mat is 1 meter, mass of matter is 1 kg. Okay, now we are going to find out the time. Time is equal, what is the formula? Velocity is equal to, or speed is equal distance by time. Speed is distance by time, or time is equal to distance by speed. Distance by speed. So based on this equation we find how much distance is there. So distance covered by the mat is equal to, so this is originally length is 1 meter, when it fold other side, so the mat is moving up to this level. So here is a 1 meter plus here again is a 1 meter. Total distance how much is there? 2 meters. So therefore distance covered by the mat is how much? 2 meters. Right. Speed, we know already speed. Speed is equal to 1 meter per second. Then you find time is equal to, how much is there? 2 meters distance by time is 1, velocity. Velocity is 1, or speed is 1 meter per second, is equal to 2 seconds. This is the time. Next, you have to find out the, after finding the time, now you find the net force. Here, which is changing here? Speed is constant, but mass is changing. This formula you have to apply. So, net force is equal to velocity into change in mass by time. Now in this case, velocity is 1 meter per second constant. Mass, change in mass, how much mass is changing from here to there? Total mass of the mat is 1 kg. So that 1 kg mass only changing. So therefore you can say change in mass is equal to 1 kg. So next, time is equal to 2 seconds. Then net force is equal to how much is there? Velocity 1 meter per second into change in mass 1 kg by time is equal to 2 seconds. So therefore is equal to 1 by 2 newtons. 1 by 2 newton. This is the net force. So how much net force acting here? The change of mass. How much mass it changes? 1 kg mass only. Means the mat is lifting one side. Rather moving it to the other side up to the second end getting motion. Up to that you have to stay. So that mass is how much is there? The change of mass is 1 kg. And takes how much time to change? 2 seconds. Okay, therefore you can write speed into change in mass. Speed into change in mass by 2 seconds is equal to 1 by 2 newtons. This is the answer you can write. So the horizontal direction only one force acting, only one force, that is half Newton force acting in the direction of the motion of the mat. Next one is the example 3. Another example. Now understand here. So according to Newton's second law, net force is equal to mass into change in velocity by time. According to the rate of change of momentum is called net force. According to that, or change in mass into velocity by time. So from this one, the distance, the length of the mat is 1 meter, mass of the mat is 1 kg, speed of the mat is 1 meter per second. We are moving this mat, just you covering one end to the other end. So speed is equal to distance by time, therefore time is distance by speed. So distance covered by mat is how much? 2 meters, because we are lifting. So this is the mat. Suppose this is the mat. So the mat is moving like this. So how much is there? 2 meter distance is covered. Speed is 1 meter per second. Then according to this equation, time is equal to, you find out this, time is equal to distance 2 meters by 1 meter per second, 2 seconds. So time is 2 seconds. Now let us calculate the net force. How much? Speed into variable mass by time. So speed is 1 meter per second. The mass varies, the mass changes only 1 kg because the mat only changes the position. So the total mass of the mat is 1 kg. So time is equal to 2 seconds. So the net force is equal to 1 meter per second into 1 kg by 2 seconds is equal to 1 by 2 newtons. Okay. Next, another one is example 3, Atwood machine. There is one more example, Atwood machine. So this Atwood machine, third example. Example 3. Newton's second law. Newton's second law. This Atwood machine. This atwood machine has one pulley is there. Here this is the support. This is support here. Here is the wood. This is carrying one wheel. So over this wheel you have one extensible string. The string is suspended with two weights. The string is suspended with two weights. So this is equal to M1, here is equal to M2. These are the two masses. Here the tension is acting in the upward action, and the tension is acting downward action. Now let us see this one. So atwood machine consisting two loads of masses M1 and M2 attached to a ends of a inextensible string drawn over a pulley. So the string runs over a pulley. Drawn over means find the acceleration of each load and tension string. So to find out the acceleration and find out the tension, how much this you have to find out. So let us see, the first one is so acceleration due to gravity. So first you take the so take the first body. So for this first body, mass is equal to M1, tension acting in the upward direction. So weight force is equal to M1G. So therefore, the net force is equal to, what is the net force? Net force is equal to, so in this case, tension is less and the gravity force is more. So therefore, M1G minus T. M1G minus T, that is equal to M1A. That is equal to M1A. Now second one, here in this case, tension is greater than the gravity force. Here, because of heavy mass, body is moving down with greater force, so downward force is more, that is gravity force weight is more, tension is less. So therefore, we can write M1G minus T. In this case, tension force is greater, so gravity force weight is less. So therefore, for the second one, net force is equal to tension force into minus M2G is equal to M2A. So these are the two values you can get it. One is called M1A, second one is called M2A net force. The net force is equal. Then you have to find out the acceleration from the first and second equation. You have to find out these values. So in this equation, M1G minus T as T minus M2G is equal to M1A plus M2A. So minus T plus T cancel. Then you can write M1G minus M2G is equal to m1a plus m2a. G is common. m1 minus m2 into G is equal to a into m1 plus m2. So from this equation a is equal to m1 minus m2 into G by m1 plus m2. m1 plus m2. So this is the equation. Got the calculation. Acceleration is equal to mass of the first body minus mass of the second body into acceleration due to gravity by mass of the first body plus mass of the second, that is total mass. So the resultant mass, the effective mass into acceleration due to gravity by total mass. Okay, so this is the equation to find out the acceleration. m1g minus t plus t minus m2g. So m1a plus m2a. So now from this equation m1g minus m2g is equal to m1a plus m2a. So m1 minus m2 into g is equal to a into m1 plus m2, or a is the acceleration is equal to m1 minus m2 into g by m1 plus m2. This answer. Now we go to the second part is tension. Tension nothing but a net force. So tension is equal to net force is equal to mass into acceleration. Here what is the, now you can find out the total mass. Mass is equal to m1 plus m2. Now acceleration a is substitute this value. So this value substitute in this equation. Then write tension is equal to m into, m means what? Total mass. m1 plus m2 into m1 minus m2 into g by m1 plus m2. So this equation you can calculate the further one. So tension is equal to m1 plus m2 square into g by m1 plus m2. So this you can take the square. M1 square m2 square m1 m2 g. Right. M1 Now substitute these values in this equation, get the answer totally. Theory of motion. Next. Third law of motion. So under this third law of motion, let us see this one. Take two spring balances. There is one spring balance. And here there is a under spring balance. When you pull these two spring balances, we find that the two spring balance shows the equal reading. Suppose here take the 100 newtons, here also it shows the 100 newtons. Suppose here take the 400 newtons, here also is the 400 newtons. So when you put the two spring balances equally, then you find the two values are acting opposite. The force acting in this direction and this force acting in this direction. The two forces acting in equal and opposite directions. Equal and opposite directions. Now, by pulling these two spring balances, so you find, what do you notice from this reading spring balance? We find that there are two forces are acting in between two objects, and these two forces are equal in magnitude, but they are acting in the opposite direction. That is the observation. Are the readings of the two spring balance are equal? Are the same? Yes. Are we able to make the spring balance to show different readings? No. So because if one spring balance is applied force, the second also requires the same amount of force. So therefore, according to Newton's third law, when an object exerting some force on the other object, the second object also exerting same amount of force on the first object. So these two forces are equal in magnitude, but they are acting in the opposite direction. So these two forces are called action and reaction. So the object which is applying the force is called action force. So in reverse, the second object applying force is called reaction force. So there are two forces, action force and reaction forces are acting in between two objects, not a single body. It is acting in between two bodies. So Newton's third law explains, when an object exerts force on the other object and the other object also exerting the same magnitude of force on the first object. Suppose if you walk on a ground, suppose we are walking on a ground, at each step our feet applying some force on the ground is called action force. In reverse, the ground surface also exerting same amount of force on the surface of the feet is called reaction force. So here the leg is applying force is action force, the ground applying force is called reaction force. Because of this action and reaction force, we are able to walk on a road. So, are you thinking that the ground also exerting some force? Yes, ground is also exerting some force in opposite direction. Is it not surprising here? When you push a wall, you find the wall also applying the same amount of force on our body. But we cannot see that force exerted by the wall on our body because our hand is moving, applying force. This is visible to our naked eye. But the wall is applying force is not visible. But we can get the experience, sensation. Suppose when you strike the wall applying force, with that force we are getting some pain. So this is called reaction force. So if two objects are interact, the force, suppose here is the A body, here is a B body. If A body applying force on the B is called force AB. Force applying B on the A is called force B on A. So, the force exerted by the object A on the object B is equal in magna opposite direction. Therefore, the force exerted by A on the B is equal. So, direction of the force BA exerted by the object B on the A. B exerted force on the A is FBA. And A is in reverse exerting force on the B is called FAB. So therefore, if A is applying force on the B, the force applied by the A is called action force and B applying force is reaction force. Suppose if B applying force on the A is called action force, then the A is applying force on the B is called reaction force. This states that no single isolated force is existing. So no single force is exerts in between two objects. So there are two forces acting in between two different objects. Newton's first and second laws of motion. Newton's first law and second law of motion applying to a single body, whereas Newton's third law of motion applies to an interaction between two objects, in between two bodies. The two forces of Newton's third law never act on the same body. Suppose we conclude that there is an action force and reaction force. These two forces are not acting on a single body. They are always acting in between two objects. So the action-reaction pair in Newton's third law always represents forces acting on two different bodies simultaneously, because action and reaction forces, though they are equal in magnitude, but they are acting in the opposite direction. So therefore, they can't affect on a single body, they are affected on two different objects. Let us see this one. For example, when birds fly, what happens? They push the air with its wings in a backward direction. Then the wind apply force on the surface of the wings forward direction. So the birds fly in forward direction. Suppose the wings pushes the bird air in downward direction. The wings applying some force on the air in downward direction. The air is applying force on the wings in upward direction. The bird fly higher altitude. So therefore, thus the force applied by the wings, a bird on air, and in opposite direction, force applied by the air on the wings are equal in magnitude, but they are acting in opposite direction. Same thing you can observe in the case of fish. We can observe in the case of fish. When a fish swims in water, the fish pushes the water back, and the water pushes the fish with equal force but in opposite direction. Equal force in opposite direction. The force applied by the water on the surface of the fins is called reaction force. The force applied by the fins on the surface of the water is called action force. For this action, in reverse, the water is applying force on the surface of the fins is a reaction force. So same thing we can find the rocket accelerates by exerting some gas at high velocity. In reaction force of this gas on the rocket accelerates the rocket in direction opposite to the expelled gases is shown. So the rocket, when the fuels burns producing huge amount of gases, they are exerting in downward direction. In reverse, the reaction force acting on the rocket, the rocket is taking launch and go in a higher altitude to the space. So the direction opposite to the expelled gases. So the rocket moves in opposite direction to the expelled gases. Does the rocket exert a force on the gas expelled from it? Does the rocket exert a force on the gas expelled from it? So the rocket exerts a force in opposite to the expelled gases. So therefore the rocket moves in the upward direction. So we'll continue this next class.